Jimosophy, interpreting events to build wealth.
Hi, it's Jim at Jimosophy.com. Today we're going to look at a simple life-changing formula. This formula will work on any decision. It'll tell you whether it's worth it or not. It's not an exact formula, but it's a great ballpark formula. There's only two simple questions you have to ask yourself. Number one, what's in it for me? And number two, how much does it cost me? What's in it for me? How much does it cost me? Will tell you whether it's worth pursuing. It'll also tell you the valuation. So let's look at Walmart. Walmart trades on the New York Stock Exchange. It's a great company. We've all heard of it. It has approximately 11% market share. It's got lots of room to grow. Is it worth it? Well, number one, what's in it for me? The profit. $6.27 per share. Number two, how much does it cost me? $140 a share. Is it worth it? It works out to 4.5%. Not bad. Maybe it is. Below here, if we want to think like Warren Buffett instead of you and I think in terms of buying shares. If we think like Buffett and we look in terms of buying an entire company, we simply take the number of shares outstanding and multiply it by the price per share. And that'll give us the total value of the company. So in Walmart's case, it's $140 a share right now at the end of August 2020, trading today on the New York Stock Exchange. There are 2.83 billion shares of Walmart outstanding. So there's 2.83 billion pieces of paper, each one worth $140 market value today. If we multiply them together, we get the market capitalization of $396 billion, approximately $400 billion. That's what it would cost to buy the entire company. Again, what's in it for me? If it's the entire company, $17.9 billion profit in 2019. Number two, how much does it cost me? Approximately $400 billion. Works out to 4.5% when we multiply what's in it for me divided by how much does it cost times 100. Works out the exact same. Here we're thinking in terms of a share. Here we're thinking in terms of the entire company. So it looks like Walmart is actually maybe not a bad buy at all. Let's look at a really interesting one because everybody's talking about it. Tesla. Tesla. Is it worth it? What's in it for me? First question we ask. Well, unfortunately, nothing. Tesla doesn't make a profit. For 10 years, it's just lost money. Recently, in the past 2 quarters, it's made an infinitesimal profit, and hopefully it makes a gigantic profit. It probably will. Elon Musk is a genius. They're probably great cars. I hope it does extremely well. But what we're interested in is it worth it? So number one, what's in it for me? Unfortunately, nothing today. How much does it cost me? It costs $2,236 per share today to buy. So if we do the math on this, it's not worth anything. So we wouldn't buy that stock. Down below, if we think in terms of the entire company, there's 186 million shares of Tesla outstanding, each one worth today a market value of $2,236, which the total value of the entire company today is $416 billion. So it's worth about the same as Walmart, but it doesn't make any profit. What is Tesla really worth? Well, let's look at the entire automotive industry. Last year, there was $200 billion in profits for the entire industry. The number one car automobile manufacturer, Toyota, has a 10% share approximately. It earned $20 billion. So if Tesla earned $20 billion, $20 billion over, let's say, $400 billion is a 5% return on investment, which is not bad. It's actually very good. But that would assume that Tesla becomes number one in the world, the number one automaker, and surpasses Toyota, which would take many, many years for us to get to that point. So we can see that it's overvalued, but what's it really worth? If we remember just a year ago or two, when Tesla was $200 a share instead of $2,236, when it was $200 a share, its market cap was about $37 billion, not $416 billion. So if it made $3.7 billion when it was $37 billion, that would be a pretty good return, 10%. If it made $3.7 billion today, we would just put $3.7 billion over $416 billion, and we would see that it would return somewhere in the neighborhood of, it would value it somewhere in the neighborhood of $200, maybe $300 a share if it gets to $3.7 billion in profit, which would take it up to about a 1.7% market share. So that's what it's probably worth in that neighborhood, $200 or $300. Why is it trading at $2,236? Well, that's just pure speculation. That's traders seeking a short-term profit, playing a trend. Clearly, the valuation is way out of line. The market price is way ahead of the actual value. Again, I hope Tesla does really well, but it looks like this stock's going to be in for a correction, and maybe a big one. Again, this formula will work for anything. We could use it for any decision. Let's say we were deciding whether we should go to college. Is it worth it? Well, again, number one, what's in it for me? Maybe $100,000 a year with a college diploma. Two, how much does it cost me? If we look at it, again, it's a simple formula and we don't have to take a million variables into account. It's a ballpark answer, but it's a good answer. It tells us, is it worth it? With college, about $25,000 a year, 4 years is $100,000, ignoring the opportunity cost. So you have 100% return on investment, which is worth it. Again, you could use this decision for anything. Let's say you were young, you were in high school, and you were thinking of asking a girl to the prom. What's in it for me? Number one. Maybe a kiss, maybe a girlfriend, maybe love, maybe more. Number two, how much does it cost me? Well, you're going to have to buy the tickets. That might be $100. You're going to have to buy a suit. That might be $300 or $400. You're going to have to buy a corsage. And probably the biggest cost would be the risk of rejection if she says no. And you could do the math on this. So it works for anything you want to do, any decision you need to make, a ballpark decision, a quick decision, and it's great for valuation of virtually anything. Remember, is it worth it? Number one, what's in it for me? Number two, how much does it cost me? And please, I write it down. I would write it down. It's easier to see that way. It's hard to hold the variables in your head. That's a simple life-changing formula. I hope it works for you. Remember to visit Jimosophy.com. Thanks for listening.